Guys, can I just say, like, holy shit, dude. Holy fucking shit. What? Like, it's over there, I guess. There. Look at it. Like, come on, man. Oh, dear. Oh, man. Okay. So when I first saw this, I thought to myself, there's no way it's actually Trump. There's no fucking way that's actually Trump, but it is. It fucking is. I mean, oh shit. I mean, he was never very photogenic, okay? Sure, that's true. He was never a very photogenic guy, but like, this is easily the worst picture ever taken of him, right? Like, it has to be the worst picture ever taken of Donald Trump. He looks like Morla, the ancient one from the Neverending Story. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. I had on Morla picture queued up, but fuck it. Fuck that. You don't get to see. He looks like days, man. He's like, I mean, I know the sun is maybe like, you think like the sun's in his eye, but like he's wearing a ball cap. He's like, it literally can't be. So what's with the like, it's hard to believe, man. It's hard to believe this guy was ever fucking president. Like, he looks like, if you look just at the face, like you take the rest out, you just, because he's not dressed like it. But if you look just at his face, he kind of looks like a drunken old pirate captain who like is in one of his rare good moods. So now's the time to ask him a favor. Like, how was this guy president, guys? How was this guy president? He might be president again. Holy shit. Like, it's not even that far fetched to believe this freaking dude could be president again. Like, we're out of our goddamn minds in this country if this is what we elect, okay? I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying we should judge by appearances, but we should judge by appearances. Like, don't vote for this. Um, like, man, if we're capable of electing this guy again, we're capable of anything except for saving ourselves. Apparently, we're completely incapable of that. But honestly, people think, oh, TJ, you're always going after poor Trump and all this. And but the truth is, I feel like at the end of the day, I kind of like Trump. I know it's probably a shocking thing to hear some of you guys because I've attacked him plenty of ways. Um, I don't take back any of the attacks I've made. I'm not like gonna be like, oh, well, actually, he's a great guy. He's not. He's a total piece of shit. But 'cause I still kind of like him. Because the funny thing about him, other than him being complete and utter moron, is just like that I think he is at the core of him kind of likable. You got to admit that, right? I mean, he wouldn't have the following he's got if he didn't have some sort of likability, and I can honestly see it. I know what it is because there is a part of me that I think is a Republican. It's in there. It's an emotional thing. It's an emotional part of me that reacts, and I know it's there because I feel this way about pretty much every Republican president except for Bush too. But when it comes to like Nixon, Reagan, Bush two, Bush one is the one that I don't have any sort of affinity for. But he didn't even win re-election. He's the only one of them that couldn't win. Well, I guess Trump either. Um, Bush too. I do like Trump. I like Reagan. I like Nixon. I like. They all have a certain charm. I don't want to necessarily say I like them, but I want to say that I see the likability of them. You know what I mean? Like Nixon, I like because he's so not likable that it kind of makes me like him, right? Like he wears his shittiness right on his sleeve to the point where it's just kind of like bold and refreshing by modern standards. Like any Republican president would kill your mom for a nickel. We all know that, right? Like any Republican president in all of history, except for maybe Abraham Lincoln, he might charge a dime, but any other Republican president would kill your mom for a nickel. This is a fact. We all agree on this. Being an absolute, utter fact. No really dispute. Even Republicans are going to have to, like, they might deny it on the surface, like, what, that's so ridiculous, but they know inside, like, yeah, he'd kill my mom for a nickel. Um, but Nixon is the only one that wouldn't even pretend to not enjoy it. All the others, they'd be like, oh, I must do what I must do for God and country, Inside, they'd have a boner, but Nixon's the only one that is just like, yeah, come here, bitch. um, Reagan I kind of liked because he was just so damn corny and hokey. It was almost like he was like something that walked out of a freaking movie, and he was a Hollywood actor, and he never lost the Hollywood fakeness, that classic Hollywood leading man, fakey fake personality that he got from starring in a bunch of B movies way back in the day that no one watches anymore, by the way. Like what was Ronald Reagan's greatest film? People be like, what was he in? He's kind of not known for that anymore. People know he was an actor, but very few people give a crap about his films. But how did America ever fall for something so, syrupy and purple and just like, it's a new day in America bullshit? Like he was the first president, by the way, to be senile in office, which kind of like, shattered a glass ceiling for, future presidents like Joe Biden, for instance. You know, um, I don't like I mentioned. I don't really like Bush one, the predecessor or the successor rather to Reagan. I do kind of like the Dana Carvey impersonation of him, but when you actually go back and look at the real deal, it's kind of like kind of a dull dude, not really worthy of the mantle of Republican president. Because Republican presidents, whatever you want to say, they're ostentatious, they're larger than life, they're horrible people that once again will kill your mother for a nickel, but they're interesting characters, right? Bush, too, is a great example. Fucking frat boy president, was entitled to everything his entire life, lived a life of total privilege and ease. And then eventually, when his entitlement grew to the point where he felt like he was entitled to be president of the United States despite being a freaking moron. And America, instead of saying like fuck off, overprivileged, underachieving douchebag frat boy loser, which is like what we obviously should have done, we decided to give him the fucking presidency. And then our country was attacked and he was totally useless. Like who could have thunk it, right? Then he went on to commit a whole bunch of war crimes, lied to us all, and then at the end of it was just like, who me? And we were all just like, oh, you little rascal, you gone scamp. Like, what? I gotta admire it, man. There's a part of me that just cannot help but admire the sheer, blowhard idiot audacity of something like that. Then came Trump. Wow, Trump, right? Trump reminds me a lot of my dad, actually, who was also a con man. Donald Trump is like the high school bully that you don't really want to like, but you kind of find yourself sniggering and spite yourself when he's picking on all the other kids. You're just like, you try not to be like, you don't really want to laugh because it's really mean. But he says something that's just so juvenile, but it kind of cuts to some deeper guttural truth about somebody, and you're just like, that was always his strength. He'd just go around like Lion Ted. Well, that's not really a very clever name, but like, yeah, he's right. Ted is a fucking liar. Crooked Hillary. Ooh, yeah, I mean, well, once again, not very clever, but yeah, she is pretty goddamn crooked now that you mention it, right? Like he never missed with it. He never lied about anybody with it. He never gave someone a label that didn't apply to them. I mean, maybe crazy Bernie, but like Bernie Sanders is a little crazy. I mean, we like his crazy. It's our crazy. But he never really missed when it came to that sort of like CNN's fake news. It's like, well, I mean, so are you, but so are they. Yeah, true enough. Um, and I don't know. So it kind of gave him this likability. Now, obviously, he was a horrible president. All these guys are horrible presidents. Once again, slit your mother's throat for a nickel. Some of them probably do it for free. Some of them might even pay a nickel. Some of them might pay considerably more. Um, Democratic presidents, though, I don't honestly tend to like as much. Carter, I mean, he's a nice guy, helps build the houses for homeless people. That's great. But he seems like kind of a wimp. Obama seemed to, shed any trace of personality as soon as he took office, right? As soon as he's sworn in, I mean, like, he went for this dynamic figure and sworn in. I don't know what they told him after he became president. I don't know what he saw in the presidential book of secrets that just sucked the fun right out of him. But he was never the same, right? And some people argue with me on this. Some people say that the whole campaign trail Obama was a total fake, and then as soon as he didn't have to play that anymore, he just turned into Gus Fring and is like, nope. Now I'm an emotional void, and you're never gonna see the charismatic Obama again. Other people say that something happened. It was like when he actually got the job, like the weight of it really sunk in and just totally flattened out his once vibrant, dynamic personality. But whatever the case may be, he turned into a pretty dull guy. So I didn't really care much for him. I liked the campaign trail Obama, but I didn't really care much for President Obama. I mean, obviously, I didn't care for him on a policy point. We're not talking about policy. We're not talking about agree or disagree. We're not talking about good person, bad person. We're just talking about likable, not likable. Okay? And for me, none of those things are really all that connected. But who I did like as president, who I did like the whole time he was president was Bill Clinton, right? Clinton I did like because before Hillary sucked out his soul, turned him into the whatever sort of like husk of Bill Clinton still wanders the earth, right? But he's the real Bill Clinton is so far gone at this point. Like I consider the real Bill Clinton to have died long ago, and whatever this shambling zombie Clinton is. Like, I don't care for that thing. I'm not into it. I'm not into that one. But the real Clinton, he was cool. He played the saxophone, like not very well, but he did it. I mean, that's pretty cool, especially for the '90s. Like back in the '90s, you gotta remember we're coming off of like Bush, first Bush, not even like fun frat boy, have a beer with him Bush. We're talking about like a fiscal responsibility, Bush, and then all of a sudden this guy's playing the saxophone, like, that's kind of neat. And then, he smoked weed one time. I mean, he smoked weed plenty of times, but he admitted to smoking weed one time, said he didn't inhale, sure, Billy. Um, had a velvety, smooth voice, he had that, all right, yo. I'm not really a good impersonation person, but, this is like kind of what it was. It's like a southern accent, but down here, real calm. And it kind of makes the basically a Republican fiscal policy easier to swallow. um, then he had like his little under the desk, tryst. We'll say with his, the pudgy intern. I say pudgy is a compliment, by the way. I always liked how Monica Lewinsky looked. I understood. I was like, I get it, Mr. President. She packing on that booty meat. I got you. I know what's going on here. Then he lied about it, and that's when I really started to respect him. That's when I really started to like him a lot. Especially when it got to the point when he said that depends on what your definition of the word is. I was like astonished and flabbergasted and just like incredibly impressed. Like wow, what a hero. Like even if you don't like scumbag politicians, you have to kind of admit that he brought that, to an art form, right? Like fuck the Sistine Chapel, Bill Clinton questioning the meaning of the word is, and like he's telling you until you define is for me. I ain't telling you shit. I was like, is this the fucking transitive past form of the word be? Or is it like, oh my god, no, come on, man. Oh shit. Shit my britches, man. Holy fucking goddamn. Oh yeah. But the point is, like, holy fuck, he looks terrible in this picture, does he not? Like, you guys really gonna do this again? You gonna fucking like looking at this here? Look at this. Look at this guy. You're gonna fucking do it? Really? Like this? You're gonna do it? Okay. I know I'm being superficial right now, judging by appearance. I mean, like, we already know that he's not good in any other way. We know that he's an awful fucking president. We know he's a fascist. Oh, I'm sorry. I know people get triggered by the word fascist. Okay, well, we'll just call him a xenophobic authoritarian who wants to be dictator. Oh, wait, that's the definition of a fascist. Anyway, he's that thing. Or he's not, I guess, because you guys don't like the word, some of you. Although most of them are unsubscribing at this point. Bye. Some of them are sticking around. Some of them who are actually like conservatives are always making a big deal about like, oh man, we don't want to live in the echo chamber. We listen to different points of view, you know. And most of them are lying about that, but some aren't. You know, sometimes there's still a few conservatives kicking around my channel, listening to what I have to say. But most of them have been like, "Fuck you, I'm out. I'm out. This is rude. You're being rude to us." Anyway, yeah, your guys' guy here, like he's looking bad. He's looking bad, man. Not good. Honestly, though, this guy might be our only hope. If you're someone who's not excited to see DeSantis become president. You might be like kind of like secretly rooting for Trump at this point. Like, holy shit. I hope Trump can fucking stop this upstart DeSantis, because I don't know if you guys watched the episode of Deep Fat Fried that I did Monday about DeSantis, but holy crap, that guy is pure evil. Like, way worse than this one. DeSantis will actually be the first Republican president in a while that I actually don't think is likable. He's actually as hateable as Ted Cruz. I'm gonna put that out there. He's as hateable as Ted Cruz, but his face isn't as punchable. I don't know. DeSantis is a dangerous combination, dude, because he's like the banality of evil. He seems like really sort of like saccharine on like a very surface level that most Americans never dig deeper down than. But we'll talk about him some more some other times. We're plenty of chances to talk about DeSantis. But for now, I thought we should just marvel and revel in how bad Trump looks, because it's kind of beautiful. People be like, "Oh, TJ, you're ugly too." Well, maybe that's true, but I ain't that fucking ugly. Not yet, anyway.